Hello and welcome to Vacations by Tiffany. I'm your go-to travel agent giving you tips and information about cruises, Disney, and more. In this episode, I'm comparing Walt Disney World versus Disney Cruise Line. There are tons of magical similarities, of course, but also just as many differences in the style of vacation. Just a note that a lot of the things about Disney World in Florida also applies to Disneyland in California. So let's start with the most common question I get, the price. They're actually about the same price for either vacation. Both the cruise line and Disney World will change their price during the year depending on the holidays and the peak seasons. So when you add up food, hotel, and park tickets, it can be the same as your base cruise fare, which includes food, hotel, and the cruise ship events. Things like shopping, photo packages, and bar drinks will cost extra in both locations. You could spend 7 nights on a cruise or 7 nights at a Disney World hotel and go into the parks every day and stay in the same price range. My advice is to book far in advance and make monthly payments so that most of it's paid off by the time you start your vacation. Now for things to do. Both cruising and Walt Disney World have a lot of things to do all the time. There's no way to fit it all in just a few days, but at the same time, there's plenty to keep you busy. One of the most obvious differences about cruising and going to the parks is that on a cruise, you will leave the US and travel to different countries. Because of this, I highly recommend getting passports for your entire group. And there's also the current safety guidelines to take into consideration when cruising, which are changing pretty often, so be sure to check, or if you're using a travel agent, they'll make sure that you have everything checked off your list. If you're a U.S. citizen and visiting Disney World in Florida or Disneyland in California, you don't need a passport, so there's that. Now, because of the capacity on a cruise ship is smaller, they have kids clubs on Disney Cruise Line. You can register your kids for the Oceaneers Club and drop them off with supervising counselors and go have yourself some adult time at the pool or the private island like you see here. Or the spa. There are no kids clubs like that at the Disney parks. There are, however, babysitting services at some of the hotels, but you'd have to check for availability. Speaking of no kids and adult-only areas, both Disney World and Disney Cruise have a lot of adult-only opportunities. There's fine dining in both locations. There's also a full-service spa in both places. However, you won't find too many adults-only bars at Disney World like you will on a cruise. After a certain time in the evening, all of the bars on board become 18 and up. Meanwhile, at Disney World, there are some select bars like Trader Sam's at the Polynesian, as well as a few in Disney Springs. You also will not find any adult-only pools at Disney World. There are some resorts around Orlando that might have an 18 or 21 and up swimming pool, but not exactly the Disney hotels. On the cruise line, there's the 18 and up Quiet Cove area with pools, hot tubs, bars, and a coffee shop. There's also the Satellite Falls pool area with a sun deck. You'll find that on the Fantasy and Dream ships. Next topic is rides and slides. Of course, the rides and attractions at Disney World are not something that you can find on a cruise ship, but they do have fun water slides and the Aqua Duck water coaster. And coming soon to the new ship, the Disney Wish, will be the first attraction at sea called the Aqua Mouse, which in my opinion looks really cool. Alright, now for the food. In the parks and hotels, there's lots of quick service restaurants, which are great for food on the go. But if you like to sit down and be waited on at a table service restaurant, you'll have to plan ahead when at Disney World, especially for popular restaurants like Cinderella's Royal Table inside the castle or any of the character dining. On a cruise, you'll find sodas and non-alcoholic drinks are included in your cruise fare, and something I love, unlimited ice cream included in the cost too. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the main dining room, buffet, or the quick service restaurant by the pool are all included. Whereas at the parks, you will have to pay separately for each meal, which in the past has made the Disney dining plan so popular. However, at the time of this episode in spring of 2022, the Disney dining plan at the parks is currently still on hold with no announcement of when it will be back. One thing about Disney World versus Disney Cruise is the level of planning that you'll have to do. Disney World requires planning during the day if you get Genie Plus, or you can wing it and get in line for the rides as you come up to them. Whereas on a cruise, every day they have a newsletter type list of all the events around the ship, and you can choose to participate in as many as you like, or wing it and see where the day takes you. On my cruises, I personally like to bring a highlighter and mark down what I'm interested in and then work it into my schedule for the day. Also on a cruise for dinner every night, you'll already have a table ready for you with the same servers to take care of you each night, with no planning required. Another big difference is the size of Disney World. Usually when you leave your hotel room, you might be gone all day, taking about an hour to get to and from the parks and spending the whole day out and about. But on a cruise, you can easily stop into your cabin during the day to change clothes, drop off your shopping purchases, or even take a nap. Now for some of the things you'll find on both. There's amazing magical fireworks shows, massive holiday celebrations for both Halloween and Christmas. There's character meet and greets, lots of shopping. You can get a photo package. There's also stage shows and movies by the pool. There is an app for both, the My Disney Experience app for the parks, and the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app for the cruise. So overall, my advice is to try them both, or maybe combine Disney World with a Caribbean cruise, or Disneyland with a Mexican Riviera cruise, or Disneyland Paris with a Mediterranean cruise, just to name a few options. There are so many Disney parks and Disney cruise itineraries that could easily take you around the world, and there's new things coming all the time. Like this, the new ship, the Disney Wish. Speaking of which, I invite you to subscribe to my channel because I will be seeing lots of new things at both Disney World and be sailing on the all-new ship, the Wish, later this year. I could easily talk for hours about both types of vacations, and I encourage you to do more research before deciding which one is right for you. So just to recap, in the parks, you can fill your day with as many rides and shows as possible, but there's also so much happening around you that you can just relax, take a slower pace, and just enjoy the magical atmosphere. And the world-class attractions and roller coasters can't be found anywhere but in the theme parks. Meanwhile, on a cruise, you can also be as active or relaxed as you want. You'll have an opportunity to visit other countries and cruise ports, like Alaska that you see here. And although some planning is definitely required, there's a smaller footprint to cover on a cruise ship. One thing I can say about any Disney vacation is that you'll get the top level of service, food, safety, and attention to details. And don't forget about all the magical moments that make any vacation worth it. You can visit vacationsbytiffany.com to contact me, and we can start planning your next Disney vacation. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.